can't tell you.
He's a tech-savvy guy, gonna show you the way. You better load your bags, cause crypto's here to stay. Listen up, gonna teach you about this and that. But he's just a goofy guy in a straw hat. So join in and have a laugh. It's gonna be a good time, that's a fact. Information and crypto parodies. Sit back and enjoy the show. You just never know which way you'll go. So get ready for Digitspin Crypto.
Hey, it's Dino, Digitspin Crypto, and I appreciate you guys all stopping by to see the show tonight. We're gonna have a little fun. We're gonna just kind of chat our way through things tonight. Now, let me start off with, I'm just a goofy guy in a straw hat, mumbling at the screen on YouTube. Obviously, I'm clearly not qualified to give you any financial advice, but take with it anything you learned tonight, add it to your breadth of knowledge, and make your own best decisions as you go along. So, now that I got that out of the way, I'll polish up my Electroneum phone here, make sure the screen's nice and clean. Yeah, I like my Electroneum phone. I do some of my trades on here. It's good stuff. Anyway, we'll keep going. What we want to talk tonight about is we got Bitcoin and obviously tether issues and what that's going to all mean. We've been discussing a lot of this on Digitspin Crypto Telegram channel. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the Digitspin Telegram channel, you're going to find the link for it in the description below. And you're going to want to go there. It's a comfortable place. People call it the Switzerland of cryptocurrency telegrams, because everybody's invited and everybody treats each other with some kindness and respect. We also have links down below for, we just added Bitcoin TV. So all the TV channels are basically Telegram channels that you can go to get what we feel as some important news and information and immediate links to the important stuff, things that we found of value. So it's worthwhile to add those to your Telegram account so that you can get quick notices of anything on Twitter, all the different news channel feeds, some YouTube. If we find stuff on Reddit and Medium, we'll put it out there also. So just started Bitcoin TV. You'll get that link down below. Add that to your Telegram. We have obviously Electroneum TV, where I'm a contributor to Electroneum TV. We have Webdollar TV, and we've also added BitTube TV. So take a look at those, add those to your Telegram. It'll be worth your effort. And of course, make sure you join Digitspin Crypto Telegram channel. You'll have a good time and get a lot of good knowledge and information there. People put up a lot of entertaining, and we have some really thought-provoking conversations about cryptocurrencies, and it's something that you definitely want to check out. I appreciate everybody that's out there. I see we got about 21 viewers according to my screen at the moment that have tuned in for tonight, and that is awesome and excellent. We're also going to talk about some Webdollar stuff, give you guys an update on Webdollar, and obviously Electroneum. So Bitcoin, Electroneum, Webdollar, all tonight. That may be mixed, it may be segmented, I don't know. We're going to work it out as we go, figure out what's going on. Let's see what's happening on the chat. You guys got all sorts of good stuff out there. I see we got Duncan. We got Duncan's kind of been. He was our first guy out there, so congratulations to Duncan for being first for tonight. Now Paul is out there. Mr. Paul goes, Dino, I want to tell you your intro with the roller coaster. It gives me kind of motion sickness. That's right, you'll figure it out. The nice thing is you don't have to pay for an e-ticket. Now that shows my age, right? For those of you who've ever gone to Disney when it first opened up in the 70s, the park was basically free to get into. There was hardly anybody there, and each ride you would buy like a little package of tickets, like if you were going to a carnival, and there was ABCDE tickets. And the best rides, Space Mountain and the Haunted Mansion, you had to have an E-ticket. Now, I used to go on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride when I was a kid in the 70s. And I think that was only a C ticket. I got torn down and they put some other nonsense in there. I love Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. That was fun stuff. I think it's, what is it now? Jeez, I can't remember the thing. It's got a mouse and some other stuff in it. I forgot what it is now. Maybe you guys know. Put it in the chat if you remember. All right. M Kid goes, sorry, Dino. We're just not that old. Yeah, I'm sure you got a lot of guys aren't. So we got You Want to Know Me out there. We got Rick Viper Moto. Good to see you. Of course, our favorite M Kid. And M Kid says hello. We got Michael. Michael's out there. Michael, you guys can all thank Michael. If it wasn't for Michael, I probably wouldn't have done the show tonight. He on Telegram, he messages me like every other day. You gonna do a live show? You gonna do a live show? Hey Dino, you gonna do a live show? So Michael says, good evening, Dino. Can you talk about what the odds of Electroneum dropping the ETN reward block and what the positives and negatives would be? So because of Michael asking me constantly, I am going to definitely, let's see if we can change the screen a little bit here. Move me over a little. There we go. I'm going to answer Michael's question first and talk about that. Make sure that he gets his question in since this show is because of Michael. All right, what are the odds Electroneum dropping the Electroneum down? So this is a conversation that's been going on Telegram, in many of the channels, not just in the Digitspin. Hey, you guys like my new haircut? I got a fancy new haircut there, nice and thin. It's got that peach fuzz feel. I always love that peach fuzz feel, right? You know, it's nice and tight. Hold on to the hat better. It acts like Velcro. All right, so back to the question. So this is a question that's been talked about on many of the Telegram channels, and the reason is that a lot of folks are going, hey, you know, the price kind of is almost like a stable coin with Electroneum. It kind of fluctuates in that 4.8 cents to 6.2 cents, and it kind of stays in that range, and it just goes up and down. Let's take a quick look where we are with it. Let's bring up Electroneum here. Let's get my head out of the way. Oop, there we go. So Electroneum right now is, there you go, 50 cents. Excuse me, 0.5 of a cent, half a cent. Best way to say it, half a cent, and it's been staying in that exact channel. Now, obviously, the satoshis can go up and down because the satoshi is reflected against the value of Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin goes up, the satoshis go down, and it stays in that channel, that 4.8 to 6.1 channel. And let's take a look. If we take a look at it at price, so if we put in our BTC price, let's get rid of this here. You'll see the satoshis range from 88 to 198. It's been fluctuating for the last, for the whole week. I like to look at it against USD. Kind of gives me a better view of what the cost is. So you can see here from like January, if we take a look from this whole year, from January to now, it's been basically a stable coin. It's just flat and straight. It's just doing its thing. And this is a necessary period of time, being that it's a relatively new blockchain, and they all emit tons of coins, price goes a little crazy, and then they all sit at this stable line for a period of time. And the reason is, and it goes back to the question that's at hand, the reason is, let's put that back to the 7-day. It's kind of good to see this channel coming up here. If you notice, if we connect this to here, if we're going to stay in this upward channel that's going on right here, that's coming across and going up, hopefully it'll bounce off here and it'll fluctuate and go up, hopefully, if we'll stay in that channel. But we'll have to see what Electroneum does. But the moral of the story is that, let's move this back up, is that the reason why a lot of this happens and why this thing stays in this, is it was being discussed, and some people said, is that, hey, we're putting off a lot of coins. Every 2 minutes, Electroneum closes out a block on average. It's not fixed in stone. But it's set for 2 minutes. The difficulty changes accordingly to keep it at that 2-minute window. So if somebody puts more hash on there, it'll increase the difficulty to try to keep that 2-minute window going. And see, the fact of the matter is that, and this is with all blockchains, that the amount of horsepower that's out there, computing power, could solve blocks every second. There's just so much power out there that you could solve blocks in probably 10 or 100 blocks in a second with the amount of horsepower that's out there. There's just so much computing power. And if you were to do that, you would never be able to the chain would end up having soft forks, because everybody would be solving the chain so fast that everybody would have their own solution, and it would fork out like a tree or a root system, and it would just, you would never be able to see who had the longest chain, because it would just happen so fast. So you have to slow down all that computing power. And that's why they increase the difficulty. They make it a golden ticket. That computer has to hit a magic number to be able to say, I can submit my solution. And basically the machines are sitting there spinning the wheels until it hits a magic number, and then it spits out an answer. And it adds it to it. So the more horsepower you have out there, you have to make that magic number harder to hit, because the object is to slow down the computing power. Okay? So they increase the difficulty, making the ticket harder to get, and therefore, on average, you get a 2-minute block. Okay, a 2-minute block. And then that gives enough time for all the other systems to kind of, all right, reset and do what they need to do, and then submit it, so you get less and less soft forks in the system, and one can be defined as the true fork or the true path of the information. All right, so when somebody adds a lot of horsepower, it can solve the block faster because the difficulty is set here. It's thinking, hey, there's this much horsepower, and so the difficulty is set here. Somebody immediately throws a whole bunch of hash power on here. Well, what's happening? Well, they're solving the blocks faster, and so the timing window goes down, can go down. You could have blocks being solved every 60 seconds, or I've seen them as fast as 10 seconds. And what happens is that after that 2-minute window, the difficulty will come up and say, oh, no, you don't. You can't continue doing that. We're going to make the difficulty higher. All right? And then the person will drop off, and then this will slowly come back down to where it was. And then they'll throw their computers back on, and then this will catch up, but for a minute or two. And so the reason why I'm bringing that up is I'm going to talk about the patch. All right. So back to the original question is, every 2 minutes on average, Electroneum gives a reward for solving and closing that block. All right, so let's take a look what it is. Let's go to Crypt Unit, and we're going to go to the details. And in Crypt Unit, we're going to come down here and we're going to see what the reward is. So we're going to slide all the way till today, and we're going to look. And by looking, it tells us 7,678 ETN. So every 2 minutes, on average, 7,678 Electroneum are rewarded from the blockchain to all the people that were, well, on this side, this is the difficulty. On this side, all the people that were sitting here hashing and participating get rewarded. And it's not everybody, it's the people that close the block. But for simpleness, we're just going to say that money gets, those coins get rewarded to those that close the block. All right, and that happens every 2 minutes. So you add that up, and there's a lot of Electroneum that gets generated. Now, the issue is that let's go to mining pool stats. All right, and you guys can look this up yourself, and you can understand it better. That's not what I was looking for. I think it's IO, the mining pool stats. Stream. Mining pool stats.stream. Alright. Let's bring that up. Let's we want a coin, Figglebar. Is there a way to go by coin? Search coins. Electroneum. So, in mining pool stats, this is going to show me all the folks that, or all the registered pools. There can be somebody that has hash power in their basement or garage or the whole warehouse full of machines, and they could be turning them on and not registering it and just kind of be secret hash power. But all of the reputable pools register their hash power and put it onto the chart for everybody to see. So as you can see here, we got F2 pool, and F2 pool is putting out 2 gigahash. All right, pool in, DX pool, and you'll see these all going along. Now, F2 pool has some of the biggest. I know I have seen upwards of 4 gigahash for F2 pool. Now what happens is on F2 and like pool in, I've done a little bit of mining on pool in. I do use others, but I have also used pool in. Pool in, one of the options is you can actually mine the Electroneum but get paid in Bitcoin. How does that happen? Well, basically, they're mining the Electroneum and then they're instantly converting them, selling them to get Bitcoin, and sending you the Bitcoin. So that means there could be a very good percentage of people who just say, hey, really don't want my Electroneum, I just want the Bitcoin for it, because if you send me the Electroneum, I'm going to sell it anyway and exchange it for Bitcoin. So what ends up happening is that all those coins get instantly converted. And I can assure you, any corporate pools, so some of these pools have their own machines. They personally bought some ASICs to mine Electroneum. I know F2 Pool does. And I can dollar the donuts, the big Chinese ones definitely do. Pool in probably also. Have their own ASICs. They're corporate miners. And so they immediately change the Electroneum into Bitcoin. So what ends up happening is that all those coins that are being mined are being instantly dumped onto the market. Alright? So when that happens, we have tons and tons of coins being made and sold. And because all new blockchains, the first especially, and especially with Monero, but all of them, their goal is to get out tons of coins, get them out there. They just spew out coins every 2 minutes. It's like going to Vegas and hitting the slot machine, and every 5 pulls, you know, you get a hit. Boom, boom, boom. Well, you're gonna just keep pulling, right? You're gonna keep collecting all the quarters. For me, maybe it's pennies or nickels or whatever it is, but some people get dollars. But you're gonna collect the quarters, all right? So you're gonna collect all the coins, and this has a tendency to obviously push down the price because you're flooding the market. And under normal circumstances, this was fine for a lot of new coins. When crypto was getting started, they were just getting the blockchains running and just trying to get the bugs out of it and fend off people fighting and trying to scam the environment. And that worked just fine. With Electroneum, the problem because they were spending that time trying to, defend the equipment, and then, okay, now what do we do with these coins? Do we have a use case? Can we make a use case for them? Electroneum is kind of, unfortunately, a victim of their own, success. And the reason is that Electroneum's got the blockchain working. It's a good basic chain using the Monero code. They keep it up to date with the patches and updates and forks. And then they have their app, and they put in the instant payment technology with fencing and ring off fencing. They've got the accounting system in the back, and they're getting it out now for an actual use case. So the problem lies is that Electroneum, because of the success and having everything working, is a victim of it, because they've actually built this and actually have a working use case before the emission curve could catch up to where a coin would normally be in their life cycle. Usually it's 4 or 6 years into it before they have something. I mean, there are coins out there that are still tokens and don't even have their own blockchain yet. There are coins that started off as an ICO and then, came out with their mainnet, and they're just getting the thing kind of running and working on, some structure, a couple of years into it. Electroneum's, not only did all that, but created a use case and has all the stuff working, and they have something almost ready to basically start running with a fully functioning use case. That's like this close to being perfected. It's got to be tested. Got to do your trial runs. But the coins are still spitting out. And as you see prices of some of these coins. It's craziness. There's valuation on coins that do literally nothing. But they're hyped up by people that want to pump them up. And they're worth, 20 cents. And they do nothing. Electroneum has everything working, has the use case, is in testing right now, in cleaning up and polishing mode. But the coins are spitting out still. So what's happening is the value of Electroneum is not being reflected to the level of the project. The project's up here and the coins are all pouring out still. Now, those that are smart enough to scoop them up and put them into their basket are gonna be the OGs a couple of years from now. Okay? And because eventually the coins start to diminish. Now you take a look, you can see it here. Here's let's see, April, let's go to February. All right, April, May. Let's see, can we get to May here? All right, here's June. I can't get to May. In June of last year, they were giving just almost 12,000 coins every 2 minutes. Okay, 12,000 every 2 minutes. All right, and so over the last year, we're down to 7,678. So you can see the difference. There's a 5,000 over that 1 year period. Another year from now, you're going to see the level to go down even further. So here's the question that's coming up in the Telegram. Hey Dino, can we wait? Since Electroneum is so far ahead with the use case and they're polishing it, are we going to be able to wait for these coins to start to slow down so that the rate of inflation slows down so that the price can come back up? When you have so many coins coming out, the rate of inflation is huge. There's just so much coming out. When that comes down, the rate of inflation starts to slow down. And at that point, the price and value of the coin can catch up to the performance of what's going on with the projects. All right. So the question is, can we wait another year for the emission curve to slow down enough so that it can start to reflect the performance of it? Well, there's two things there. You have either you make less coins so they become more sparse and they become more valuable, or you have more people buying them. If you have that many more people buying them, then the amount of coins is just fine. So there's a catch-22 there, which is the way you're going to go. And it's my belief that I think that an option to modify the emissions might be a viable solution. This is something that Electroneum knows, they're aware of. They have to do it's extremely complicated economic modeling that has to be performed. You don't want to just take it and say, all right, we're at 7, let's just give 4. Boom, you just can't drop it like that. And you'll just cause chaos. All right, that can't happen. But they could maybe, if your curve's going like this, you could maybe drop the curve a little bit more so that over the next 9 months it goes maybe twice as fast, or adds an extra percentage to it so that it gets it down faster, so that 9 months, 10 months from now it's more effective. And by doing that, they'll have more coins to give going out into the future, so it would extend the lifetime, and by doing that it'll help raise the price. That was the question. All right, so getting back to this, the odds of dropping Electroneum reward block. I think the odds of that happening at some point is viable and realistic. I believe that Electroneum is, and this is my personal opinion, not based on anything that I was advised or told. What I was advised was, we're aware of the situation and we're looking at ways of doing or not doing something about it. We may wait it out, we may find a solution. I don't know what the solution is, but they're aware of the situation. That's what I was advised. Now, I would tend to think to increase just a little bit more the downward trend. Emission would be a safer route to go. This way it doesn't blow everybody out of the water, and over time it'll bring it down a little bit faster to catch up with the performance that Electroneum's just banging out. All right, the deliverables that Electroneum has made is just phenomenal. So that's one option. There's other options too. I don't know. You could make something to stake the coins. Let's say if everybody was holding them and was able to keep them in their wallet and earn Electroneum hey, I got 50,000 Electroneum in my wallet, and just by keeping them there, I earn extra Electroneum. That's called staking. Alright? Well, that would entice people to want to keep them in their wallet and not sell them. The issue is, though, it doesn't really solve the problem with the corporate miners that immediately turn them into Bitcoin or turn them into cash to pay the electric bill. Alright? So I believe that we need to speed up time and just bring the emission curve a little bit tighter downwards, so that over a period of 10 months, 11 months, it's good. That'll give time for Electroneum to continue their polishing, get on extra virtual mobile providers, and towards the end of the year, start to see a benefit in the price, and then they can start adding larger mobile providers, because the problem is you just can't bring on 100 million user mobile provider. You at this price, you would give away all the free coins, all of the airdrop coins, or the cloud mining coins. There's a limited supply of those. They have to last. All right, and if you're giving away 400 now to give somebody $3, but the price goes up to 50 cents, you only have to give away 6 coins. All right, so now you can give away coins for a period of time a lot longer and to a lot more people. So that's got to happen before you can add these, or the party's over. It lasts for a year or two, 18 months or so, and then party's over. How does that help anybody? It doesn't. So logic dictates in the back of my brain that that's a very viable thing to have happen. What are the odds of it happening? I would tend to believe something is in their thoughts. I would tend to believe that they're trying to solve this problem, and they may be a lot smarter and creative than I am and others that have discussed this. And I would tend to hang in there. Now, I just picked up a couple of extra. If you guys go to Amazon, they had these ant miners. I just want to tell you about these. There's only a couple left. But ant miner, they shipped out of, it said New Jersey, but for some reason it shipped out of Washington State. So, which makes sense to have somebody had a farm up there, a farm in Washington State where it's nice and cold, and they can keep these miners cool without having the air condition. I'm like the poor slob I am. And what are you doing? My phone's yelling at me. Stop my watch. Stop talking to me. And so I have to try to keep them cool in 95 degree weather in the southeast. So obviously somebody's deep sixing some ant miners, and there's X3s. They're used, but they're $500 a pop, and that's a good deal, because if you take a look here, new, you're gonna, these guys here, they want 28. I've seen new units for $2,000, 17 to $2,000, somewhere in that area. These are showing up used, but this guy had like 10 of them left last time I took a look. He had 10. I bought 3. I had the one ASIC, and I found one for $6.99, and I thought I got a great deal. It was new, $6.99, so I grabbed it, and so now I have the 2 ASICs. And then I found this, and I bought 2 used ones, and then I said, I think he had like, 12 originally. I bought the 2, it was 10, and it was down to 6, and then this afternoon I grabbed another one, so I got 3 used ones come in. That'll give me a total of 5 ASICs when I received them. But at $500, I mean, you gotta add a power supply, $80. It's simple as anything. You just connect to it, put in your text string, and you say save, and it goes out and it just starts mining for you. I mean, it requires really no effort, and anybody could do it. It's a little loud. Sounds like you got a blow dryer running. So if you got a place to put it that's got circulation and air, that's reasonably cool, it would work well. But this is a steal. If you're looking for an ASIC, I would assume these are good. Now, as soon as it comes in, I'll let you know how good or how beat up the used unit is. It says good. I have to go on the assumption that they work, and but I'll find out. But I do have 3 more coming in. At this price, I couldn't beat it. So my goal is to try to get it online before they make any changes to the to the emission curve, if they should do that. So this way I can try to snag as many as I can. Oh my gosh, let's see what we got going on here. All right. So I hope I answered your question, Michael, and I know that took a while. Now, the one thing that I did mention was the patch. All right. There was a weekend or two ago, a couple of weekends ago, where they put out an alert and they said, hey, we recommend all the exchanges to increase your count for confirmations. And the reason is they were looking at the environment, and what was happening is that blocks were being solved at 10 seconds. Somebody was throwing hash power onto the Electroneum network unregistered, sort of like a phantom. They weren't registering it like F2Pool and all these other guys. They weren't registering their equipment. Let's take a look here. I had it on this one. All right, on this list. And so it was some guy, and he was, I say some guy, it was obviously some company, because it was a crud load of equipment. And they would throw it on, and that would cause the timing to go down to, I've seen it, I saw some as fast as 10 seconds to close a block. All right, so it threw the average off, and then the difficulty would catch up, and then they would just shut off their machines and then wait for the difficulty to come down, and then they would pop them on and earn, and then the difficulty would come up, and then they would pop them off, and this would come back down again. And they were causing, because it was so much hash power being tossed on, it was causing, when you have blocks going that fast, remember I was telling you, you have the difficulties there to slow down all the equipment, because if everybody's solving the blocks too fast, you get people competing, and there could be multiple machines saying, hey, I solved it, and they hit the button at the same time, and beep, 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 and all the buttons hit, and then so now it goes to round 2, and then beep, 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 and they start, and what happens is it starts treeing and branching out, and you don't know which one is the real book of accounting, because now there's 20, 30 of them out there. All right, and then that keeps going until finally one gets further ahead, and then the rest fall down, and that becomes the solution. So it was no, malfunction. It was a response to what's going on. So there was a upgrade that was performed on the Monero environment. That patch was applied to the Electroneum. The team did an awesome job. They got it out. They acknowledged it. They responded to the situation. They advised the exchanges. They said, hey, we don't know if somebody's playing games here or somebody's just trying to maximize their profits. But in the meantime, increase the amount of confirmations, so that to make sure everybody's coins are safe and nobody tries to double spend. All right, if that's what they're trying to do. To me, it appeared that they were just trying to maximize their profits. It seemed pretty obvious, and nobody reported anything, funny. But there was a lot of uncles and reorgs that were happening. So increasing the confirmations makes sure that all the nonsense that was happening gets resolved first before the coin gets released to the exchange or to whoever. So the exchanges did that. They've all put the patch in place, or should I say some of them have put the patch in place on the exchanges. You'll know because the exchange will say, hey, Electroneum wallets are offline for maintenance. And that means that they're adding the code, modifying it, putting in the patch, and then they'll bring the wallet back online. And so as more and more do that, it'll make the environment more and more safe. And of course, those that run nodes and all that, it doesn't affect anybody. If you're mobile mining, it has nothing to, doesn't affect you in any fashion. It has nothing to do with that. It's people that are running a full node and the exchanges. Okay, so that's a good thing to have happen, and I congratulate the team for the speed of which they resolved this. Added the patch and put it in place. Chris and his team did a great job knocking that out. I was thrilled with the response time. They immediately jumped on it. They alerted people, texted and twittered and notified everyone and the exchanges. So it's good stuff, and congratulations to them. So I hope all that answers a lot of questions that Michael's simple little sentence came up with. All right, let's go on to all the other good stuff that we get going on here. All right, let's take a look. And kid goes, yeah, for 50 cents, sell all the coins. All right. Ghetto Sega says, hey Dino, he goes, do you think proof of stake would improve Electroneum? It's an option. Electroneum may not be... There's a lot of code that goes into adding proof of stake. As you can tell, Ethereum has been working on it for 2 years. Webdollar, on the other hand, got it done in 6 months. But the Webdollar team are a bunch of coding animals. These guys, I don't think they ever sleep over there, and it's a pretty tight-knit group over there that they just go crazy at coding. But they put together something. But they did not have coins that were giving out with ASICs. They didn't have coins that were giving out to mobile miners and to cloud mining. So Electroneum's coins, I think, are pretty much spoken for. I think they're in a good pattern. I think that, it's an option, but I think their environment works well the way it is. And my personal opinion is, I think speeding up the emission curve in time, I think, would work better to solve this problem. That's my personal opinion. The Electroneum would know better. They're smarter than me, and I'm sure they'll come up with a solution that's going to be the most effective. I don't know all the information they do. Michael says, yeah, he goes, I use Fairhash and never had a problem. Yeah, Fairhash is good stuff. I use Fairhash myself, and they're a good pool. I do like them. I use Nanopool on occasion for a couple of different things, though I have not put my Electroneum on there. And I do like Fairhash, and I do like Poolin at the moment. You can see Antpool here. See, that's weird. You can see Antpool here. They were running a lot of hash power. They were up in the gigahash range, and they've shut off their machines. All right, because you don't have 1 gigahash. You don't have 80% of your miners just signing off if they were independent miners like me. All right, that's somebody just shut off, or moved their miners to a different coin, and that looks more like it was a corporate mining. So you can bet your donuts. And Poolin and F2 Pool, they have a bunch of ASICs. There's no doubt in my mind. All right, let's see what else we got here. You Want to Know Me says, hey, Dino, just to let you know, a combination of those ideas would be great. Yeah, any combination would do. We'll find out. You know, the one thing that I learned is not to worry. It's good to discuss these things. It's good to throw it out there and say, hey, you know, this might be an option. That might be an option. You know. But what I can tell you is that if we're catching up with it, Electroneum already knows about it and is already 2 steps ahead of you. They've proven that time and time again. They usually know these things before we figure them out here. But, you know, they're a smart group of folks. They've matured. In my personal opinion, when they first started out, they had some rough patches. And we're trying to catch up on the learning curve of knowing how to get the blockchain to work properly and how to code with it and have the right resources in place. And one of the questions I had asked, I said, hey, I thought they only had like, you know, a couple of guys doing. Well, no, the fact of the matter is that we actually went through the list. They've got 10 developers. 10 professional developers working constantly between apps, websites, and integration, back-end code, and blockchain code. They've got, and I was surprised because I was under the misconception that they did not have that many, but they do. And these guys are working. 10 people, 10 people can produce a lot of code, all right? And we're seeing just the tip of it, the stuff that goes public, not the stuff that's private and that's behind the scenes. So hat tip to them because I think they've upped their game dramatically since they first launched Electroneum. And when they first launched, I don't think their coding skills was, you know, of a premium level. At this point, I think it is. And it's been demonstrated time and time again. So I'm really happy about that. And the other cool thing that they've done is that they've upgraded their customer service by going to the Zen system. Start affording people the ability to chat, I believe, as they go forward. And there's going to be, I think, a better follow-through with the information. I used to build customer service systems, and so I'm glad to see that. And I think that the follow-through and the knowledge base of information could be expanded and improved and made available to folks in a streamline to help people out as they go through. Everything that Electroneum's touching, as far as deliverables, fundamentals. If you were doing a fundamental review of coins, Electroneum would be in the top 10, just based on fundamentals. Not talking technical and trade analysis or trade pricing. I'm talking fundamentally what they have physically working is dynamite. It really is. All right. Let's take a look here. Hey, we got M Systems up there. How you doing, M? Let's see what he has to say. He goes, hey, I know I'm late. My apologies. I think we should all support another and whatever capability. So I'm here to say I'm supporting you, Dino, and thanks for the time to get this live show going. So good. Thanks for stopping by, Em. We appreciate you and everything you do for the community. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Crypto Man goes, hey guys, there's 32 people watching and there's only 9 likes. Smash up the likes, ladies and gentlemen. So that's great. Appreciate that. If you get a chance, do that now. It's always good to have you click that like button. Takes a second, doesn't hurt. I guarantee you it won't break your fingers. Just knock it out while you can. All right, appreciate that, guys. And if this is your first time here, feel free to subscribe. You'll get lots of good information. You'll get notified when we come out with some new content. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Yeah, so Dennis goes, and I'm going to put this up here. Dennis goes, hey, I lost $6,000 in Electroneum. You only lost if you sold it. Something I could say. At the moment, you're down. And, and I feel for you. I bought at 6 cents. I can tell you how much I was down. I bought at 6 cents. And I was happy to buy it at 6 cents. Alright? But those coins I bought at 6 cents, I'm only going to take a loss if I sell them. And if Electroneum, this is how I look at it, and let's be real about this. There's a time when you look at it and say, all right, is a project going does this have any potential to go anywhere? The price is down, all crypto is down. I assure you, you're not the only one that lost a lot of money. There are tons of people who bought Bitcoin at 12,000, 15,000, 18,000, and they are down. There are people that bought Ethereum at $1,400, and they are down. They bought it at $900 if you want to equivalent it to the time frame of Electroneum being at its higher point, and they're down. Every single coin out there went down 98%. Now, is there a time that you look at it and you say, hey, I need to get out of this because it's going to end up like Trinity, and my $300 I put into Trinity is now literally worth $4.50. And I look at Trinity and I say, they probably don't have any way to recover. Nobody's using it. The functionality that was supposed to be used is being built into other stuff. It's not going to end up going anywhere. They're not doing much with it. I'm going to sell it and I'm going to take the loss. And the loss that I put in, I recognize I can live without because I didn't put my lunch money in. I didn't put my mortgage money in. This was extra cash that I had, and I took the chance. Now, I bought Electroneum at 6 cents. I spent a couple of $1,000 to buy Electroneum at 6 cents. And that $2,000 at 6 cents is worth 1/6 of that. So it's worth now what? $200? $300? I'm down. I'm down $1,700, but only if I sell it. Now I have to decide. I have to sit there and think to myself, I know the mechanics. I just explained it all. I understand why there's a lot of coins out there. I understand why the price is got a lot of resistance to go up. I understand that when there are less coins coming out, that the price goes back up because there's less inflation. I understand that Electroneum's looking at this because it's in their best interest to have a healthy environment. I understand that Electroneum has literally built a use case. I understand they have 10 guys coding their tuchus off and creating deliverables on a consistent basis. I understand that they're going to be doing upgrades to the blockchain. I understand that they've built instant payment, back-end accounting systems, updates to the web app that's going to include a faster onboarding process, more details. I understand that they have it in the first mobile provider, and they're doing the test run right now, and I understand that they met the 3-month target in 2 months with all the problems that they've identified and that they're fixing. I look at all this, and you know what I understand? I understand I'm going to hold on to my Electroneum. I ain't going to sell it because I'm going to wait the time. Because I'm not going to take a loss because I understand They have a use case. I understand that they're working on the extra deliverables. I understand that they have a value there. I understand that they clearly have a potential. In my brain, I see a potential that clearly is not in the coin that's selling for God knows what. That's still a token and doesn't even have a blockchain. That all the goofballs are putting money on. I see Electroneum and I understand the mechanics. I understand why the situation the way it is. I understand that they have the solution already in place and it's being polished. I understand it's just a matter of time before Electroneum breaks that 6 cents and I get my money back on that. I didn't lose unless I sold it. Now, if Electroneum didn't have all those things, I would take the loss. I'd get rid of it. No sense holding on to it, it's just gonna go down. That ain't the case here. Electroneum is one of the only coins, and I follow a lot of them, that has so much going on behind and with potential that it knocks the socks off me every time I think about it. There's no way in heck am I getting rid of my Electroneum coins. And I'm going to be honest with you, I believe that once the inflation rate and the emissions curve catches up to the performance of all the products and projects and deliverables that's been created, I am going to see a benefit that I've never seen before in my life. That's my personal opinion. And I'm betting it all on it. When I say betting it all on it, diversify your holdings. Make sure you have other coins. And if you have extra money, you want to get a quick hit, there's going to be other coins that you can get out there and you can get that, you know, that quick bang, and you get yourself, 1x or whatever in a month. That's why they're, they're top 20 coins. That's why they're top 20 coins. They go up and down, and you can, make lots of money with them safely. Put some money in that. But I ain't getting rid of my Electroneum because I understand why, I understand how, and I understand what they're doing. You should too. You should too. You should spend some time understanding it all. Not financial advice, but personal advice to make sure you understand what you're investing in. I will absolutely give to you. Don't put your money into something if you don't understand what you're buying. And that's why you want to watch Digitspin Crypto, so that I can explain the mechanics, the how and the why, so that you can figure out in your head if you think there's a potential. And if you don't think there's a potential, take the loss. You write it off. No way I'm gonna do that. This is a horse of royalty breed. I just gotta wait for it to hit it. It's as simple as that. Alright. Let's see what else we got here. Justin goes, yeah, just let them FUD, Dino. We'll buy up their coins. Yeah, no, somebody's going to buy them up. No doubt about it. All right, let's talk a little bit about Webdollar just real quick, and then we can get back to Electroneum. Webdollar, just want to let you guys know a couple of things that's going on. Webdollar on CoinMarketCap. So those of you that have been mining for the last year and just waiting, talk about a group of people that have patience. I've been mining Webdollar for a year. A year. And it wasn't even on CoinMarketCap until last month, or a couple weeks ago. That's how sure I was of the team. That they'll continue to go with it and they'll continue to grow. You've got to look into... This is not This is not dodgeball. You got the ball and you throw it and you bang on it. If you really want to see yourself a benefit, you're gonna have to take some risks, and it's basically taking a logical and educated risk. And you know, I looked at Webdollar. I saw what they were doing. I was mining these Webdollar coins, and yeah, they were selling them, but for practical purposes, you know, there was no value. It was like Bitcoin. You know, the first guy's doing Bitcoin, and what are you gonna do with them? You know, nobody wanted them at first. Then they started trading them kind of between each other for Bitcoin. Now they're on 3 exchanges in the last month or so. They're on CoinMarketCap, and they have a value now. So yeah, you know, 2/100ths of a cent, but it's a value. All right, so it's good to see it's being tracked and monitored, and it's gonna go. The price is gonna go up and down, but you know, it's good stuff. So you know, now you can take a look at Webdollar on CoinMarketCap. Those of you who've been mining them, you know, keep collecting them. Don't you go to webdollar.io. You got your machine running anyway. It uses your processor. You don't need your graphics card. You don't need any of that fancy hardware. Just go to the website, it creates a wallet, and it starts mining. Gotta have 200 Webdollars to take advantage of the staking. So if you don't have 200 Webdollars, you can stop by the Webdollar Telegram channel, talk to some of them. Maybe they can help you out, or find, you know, they do lots of airdrops and point you in the right direction for an airdrop so you can secure those. But it spends 33% of its time proof of work, so it could take you a little bit of time to get those first 200 Webdollars. If you're on my Telegram channel, send me a message. If you don't have 200 Webdollars, I'll find a way to help you out. And once you have the 200 Webdollars, it'll then allow you to stake. It'll automatically spend the 33% proof of work, and then it'll spend time, 66% of time, proof of stake. So it doesn't use hardly any, it doesn't use any processing power at all, pretty much. And you start earning. You know, I've had machines that I let literally just run, and for the last 3 months, and they've got 17,000 Webdollars on them. And I just leave them, and they just keep adding up and keep adding up. And the more I get, the more I'm getting. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And I'm just going to let it keep going. All right? You don't have to go out and buy them. There's no investment needed. I'm not telling you to go buy these things. I'm telling you just to open up your browser and start mining them. Then you can figure it out if it works for you. Now, remember, we have Webdollar. Let's see if I can bring this up. All right, so in Telegram, don't forget we got Bitcoin TV. In here you'll find all sorts of information. What we do is we scour and we look for any type of news bits or anything important, videos, and we'll drop them out here on Bitcoin TV. And so it makes it easier to find some interesting and fun stuff. The one big thing here on Bitcoin is clearly the tether issue. Do yourself a favor. They only have enough money to cover 76% of a tether. So clearly there's going to be a problem there at some point. At some point, somebody's going to be left holding an empty bag. So keep that in your mind if you're holding on to tether. And more so than this is general guidance that I truly would like to send out to you guys. Not only do people have tether, the exchanges have a whole lot of tether that they hold on to, that they keep in their cold wallets. Alright? If those exchanges start cashing them in, some exchanges are going to be left holding an empty bag. And if they have to write off, depending on how much they have, dollars, that's basically lost money. It could put a lesser exchange out of business. So if you're not keeping your coins on a A-rated exchange, and even then, try not to keep your coins on the exchanges for the next few months, because we don't know if the tether is going to slowly work its way out because something else is going to take its place and become more dominant, or if it's going to hit a brick wall and everything's going to get shut down. I don't know. You don't know. And this is significant. If it gets shut down, it could put exchanges out of business. This could be a very bad time. Hopefully, it'll comfortably work its way out of the mainstream. And they can keep everything comfortable. All right? Because if something happens and it hits a brick wall, you're going to have exchanges go out and they're going to take your crypto with it. All right? So this is one place that I can actually give you advice. Don't keep crypto on any exchanges right now for the next 2 months unless you have to. That's my personal advice that I can give to you. Not your crypto. If you gave it to the exchange to hold for you, they gave you a piece of paper that says I owe you. You don't own the crypto anymore if it's on the exchange. All right? They give you a little screen to look at and say that's what I owe you. All right? And if things go sour and they take that with them on the way out, there's nobody you can go to, complain to, congressman you can write to, or any deity you could pray to return that to you back. So limit your exposure. Keep your crypto in paper wallets, ledgers, as much as you can for the next 2 months until we see this sort itself out. My personal opinion. Do with that whatever you want. But you'll see a whole bunch of information out here for Bitcoin. And then we have Electroneum. Obviously, you guys are familiar with Electroneum TV. A lot of good stuff here. And we talked about the service upgrade. Now, we had talked prior about KuCoin and the exchanges adding the patch. And you can see here, KuCoin did add that on the 29th. KuCoin, they've been a good exchange. I was always worried about KuCoin, but they've turned out to be one of the most reliable to interact with, along with Liquid. So I've been impressed with KuCoin because I wasn't expecting them to do as well as that they have. Their coding and keeping things up to date, and security has been good so far and has exceeded my expectations so far. Obviously, we have BitTube TV. You can go out there and see all sorts of good stuff. We're going to start to do some shows more on BitTube. BitTube is like Electroneum. They've delivered so much. They've delivered so much, and their price does not reflect it. And as soon as they start to see more and more people use this, BitTube is going to be one of those rising stars. And then, of course, Webdollar with Webdollar TV, you'll see all sorts of things on here. We put the airdrops. Now, the one cool thing they did with Webdollar is that they took a Raspberry Pi, because proof of stake doesn't use a whole lot of electricity. They put it on a Raspberry Pi for like a $35 Raspberry Pi, connected it to the internet, and it's staking coins. This could be an appliance that you could set up and have you transfer. You get your wallet address on, you connect to it using your phone. Move some $1 to it, put it in staking mode, and walk away. And the little appliance, uses pennies pennies to run, sits there and it stakes your coins for you, and it's sitting there earning passive income. Yeah, I think Webdollar's got some. They've got some potential. They've got some potential. That's the reason why I've been sticking with them. Just like Electroneum, I see potential. I see them doing stuff non-stop. So I'm taking the chance to go forward with it. All right. We got Do you think ETN needs to be on Binance? No, I don't. I don't think it needs to be on Binance. Would it be nice to be on Binance? Sure. Sure, it would be nice to be on Binance. Is it required? No. You can pick up Electroneum wherever you need to. If somebody wants it. It's on some pretty good exchanges. It can easily be picked up. All right. What do now is take a look. We got Webdollar. We talked a little bit about Bitcoin and what's going on there, and we talked about Electroneum. We started the show at 9:30. It's 10:47, so I think we've got our good hour in for today. Let's call it for the night. I appreciate everybody stopping by. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. You can battle out your ideas in the comments. Make sure you're being succinct in what you're trying to say. If you're just putting in one word or being hostile, you definitely get deleted. But if you put in a thoughtful comment, whether it's for or against, it's good to see that, and I appreciate that communication and those conversations. Thanks for stopping by Digitspin Crypto, and I'll see you guys next time.